Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of Cruel and Beautiful, Eye of the Dragon, Rabbit Hole, King Dio, and the Lauren Frey, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. So, lately, I have been reading this novel called The Assassin's Apprentice, like by Robin Hobb, the first and like the Forsworn trilogy. I've mentioned this on stream several times over the past couple of weeks. I finally managed to finish it, and I kind of maintain what I said earlier when I was first going through this for the first time. This is probably the best book I've read in a long, long, long time. At least when it comes to like character building and just personal moments. I think like the core conflict is kind of introduced and resolved very quickly. I think if it was like better paced, it could have been like a phenomenal twist. But when all is said and done, this is absolutely a great fantasy novel, one that I would highly recommend, and one that would highly suggest you check out. I'm not sure how much I can talk about this one without like really giving away what it's about, because I think it's relatively very simple when you get down to it. It's essentially about a boy kind of developing in a world where he doesn't quite belong, or necessarily trying to find his place in the world, and kind of realizing, just interacting with the people around him. The protagonist, Fitz, is the bastard son of a prince, chivalry, and due to his heritage, he doesn't have the same status as those around him. So he's kind of brought up to be an assassin for the royal family. He acquires the skills of the trade, and starts participating in acts of violence to protect the crown and stuff like that. It's a very well done coming of age story, I think, because of how the novel introduces its fantasy concepts. It has something called like the skill, where you can kind of empathize with animals and communicate over great distances and manipulate people to do your bidding. It's kind of like the Force, but somehow with a lamer name. Like if this novel has any problems whatsoever, the author really struggled coming up with like interesting names for things and people. Like you have like entire royal families that are named things like Patience, Shrewd, Chivalry, Verity, Regal. Like all these really stupid sounding like all these really stupid all these really stupid names, like based on things that the parents wanted their kid to be like. Apparently, like if I'm understanding the lore correctly, it's stupid. Like it is really unbelievably dumb, and the power is called the skill. It's like it's it's so goofy, but it somehow works. Again, the strength of the novel relies on its protagonist and how well fleshed out like his growth and development is. Like not only with developing his skills as an assassin, but like in his interacting with other characters and like individual moments he has with them. Like the cast is not large, and they are seemingly very simple at first glance, but like they have really good. They all have like really good, unique relationships with the protagonist that like greatly develop over time, in which like the protagonist develop a genuine loyalty and respect to like certain people in the crown, and like certain people under the crown, and certain people grows increasingly distant to others. He has strained relationship. He has a strained relationship. He has a strained relationship with the people who raised him. Like he has a problem with he gets into conflict with people in court. Like he has trouble adjusting to when he's accepted into the royal family as an assassin. Like there are all these things that just make the novel work and make it engaging and make it interesting, even though the core conflict is kind of rushed, kind of lame, and kind of lame, and kind of ends all too quickly. Honestly, I think again, I mentioned this earlier, but um, like maybe if we had known all the characters that were involved at the end of the novel, like near the beginning, if they were like properly built up, like if the and then we got to this cruel twist ending, I think it would have been a bit more memorable. But this novel has this weird tendency to just kind of introduce characters, drop them, and then like introduce other ones in very short order. It's like an inverse Game of Thrones, honestly, in which like it really does have a small cast. It has a very specific focus on like what the author wants to convey, and then they kind of move on to the next thing and kind of forget about it. And I think it's better than Game of Thrones in that regard because like we actually do get a satisfying conclusion to the story, but with still more to come on obviously. um, but like it really does make you feel like the world feels significantly more hollow than Game of Thrones. A Song of Ice and Fire, I should say. It feels like the world isn't as fleshed out. You don't really get a sense of like what the world is like, or what quarters like, or what like ordinary people are like. If a character is not named and does not have like a specific interaction with the protagonist, they really, really, really do not matter. There may be like 20 characters in the entire thing, and they're all interesting, but it does feel rather flat in a lot of ways in that regard. And that's not really a complaint. It's just an observation. Because again, I really did enjoy the novel as a whole. 5 out of 5 stars. I gave it on Kindle. I'm curious what the sequels are like. There are several sequels, several spinoffs, several follow-ups, and I already have plans to read the sequel, Royal Assassin, which I think is Fitz going up against like more taking more serious operations to preserve the crown or whatever. Like I am very excited about seeing what the follow up is, but at the moment I am moving on to something else. I'm ready to take a break from it, and I'll return to it presently. But let it be known that I am indeed a big fan.